Perfect. You guys see that? All right.
All good.
Here, make sure that's working. All right, perfect. So yeah, what we have today, and I kind of have it in two different places here, so I might be looking back and forth, trying to get you guys in a good spot where I can see everything and everybody. Is just the Alexa Flash briefings for real estate. So really what that is kind of going to go in depth to what are called skills within Alexa and their flash briefings, how to promote yourself through Amazon and why it's important, how to do it, how to set it up, how to get people to sign up for your flash briefings, and why that's important as well. So we'll just kind of get right into this. So what we have kind of in this, some of the data you'll see in here is from a couple years ago, but still, like, it still holds relevance. We're still seeing that same rise when it comes to voice and smart speakers, anything like that. With you guys here, how many of you actually have an Amazon Echo or a smart speaker at your home right now? No one has one?
Not me. Nope.
I was raising my hand, but I remembered you said you couldn't see us. So yes, I have a bunch of them.
Do you use it?
Not for this, because I have no idea what this is. That's why I'm here today.
Yeah. So like I said, just from a couple of years, but even then, even they predicted that 50% of all searches will be voiced by 2020. So not going in, even if it's not a smart speaker, but picking up your phone and saying, hey Siri, or hey Google, or whatever type of phone that you have that uses that. 50% of all searches now, or it's over that, 50% of all searches are done by voice. And I think it's kind of as we all kind of get a little bit older too. I know for myself, I'm starting to voice text, and I'm like, no, come on, I'm not getting there yet, am I? I don't use my thumbs anymore. I'm voice texting everyone, but it's mostly because I'm driving. I can just hit a button and send a text still and still be a little bit safe. But the same thing still with that too, is 51% of adults use the voice search daily. And like, that's for us in this market, that's who we're, the 41%, because we're not selling homes for 15-year-olds. We're dealing with mostly young adults, things like that. And so kind of when did you first start using any type of voice search command? A big percentage of that's just been within the last 6 months. I think we've seen a big deal with that too, with kind of COVID and people just being trapped with that. Now we're getting out of that and people are starting to get out a little bit more. But you can see just within recent data with that is, more and more people are voice searching. And it's why it's so important to kind of get your foot in the door and use Alexa and use Amazon, which, paired with Google, they run the internet. Anything you want, you can find on Amazon. And then what do people search for? Deals, sales, promos, personalized tips and info, local happenings. Is the brewery having live music tonight? Is, what new restaurants opening up? Business info, set me, show me the nearest, Applebee's, if you like Applebee's. And I'm not a huge Applebee's fan, but it's the first thing that came to mind. But people are starting to do that more and more. And it's how do we relate that with real estate for both you guys and myself as well. So the same thing is this right here, just kind of some pictures, but the NPR and the Edison Research have released some new data, basically saying that the US household have acquired over just about 120 million smart speakers. And this is just through the end of 2018. No telling where that's at now. That's it was a 78% growth. Or actually it's up 78% from 2017 when it estimated it would only be 67 million. So it's a lot going on with that. And that's just in the US. So it's kind of international, and then kind of what kind of reach do you have, where it's from hyper-local states, or have you moved from out of state or from a different town that you can target when people are trying to move here, things like that. And so with data projections and all that, on average, there's like 2.5 devices per home. So I know none of you guys raised your hand, so you're kind of out of that average, but on average, there's about 2.5. So Andrew, you have some in yours. How many speakers do you have in your home?
We have 3.
3, right there you go. There's the average right there. Perfect. And then just the number of smart speakers is kind of growing, 78%, just like just talked about too. And then how often? And so a lot of people are starting to use these things more and more, nearly every day or several times a day. Over 50% of people. And, I know right now we're just kind of laying the groundwork for this, but we are going to get into some stuff to be able to kind of more technical stuff to be able to help it out, and just how it's replacing. And we'll fly through these because these are kind of, like I said, just the data with it. Time you spend on smart speakers, replacing things like radios, smartphones, televisions, computers, printed publications, anything like that. And then just that market share of how Amazon and Google really have a stranglehold on the market when it comes to smart speakers. And then Lennar, home builder, they're launching where they're building smart homes, Wi-Fi certified, designs powered by Amazon, where you can come in, hey, Alexa, turn on my lights. Hey, Alexa, turn off my lights, turn on the TV, set the thermostat here, do this, do that. And so even in the homes itself, it's coming, it's becoming a more present thing with everyone. It's even being installed in some Ford, Audi, BMWs, Lexus, like other cars as well. And it lets those drivers use the voice commands, get turn-by-turn directions, make the phone calls. Just like I said a little bit ago, I have a little bitty button in my truck that I push that says give a voice command, but it's becoming more and more kind of advanced with integrating Alexa in on that. So what we have and how this really helps is the Alexa skills and the flash briefings. And this is where it comes in with the real estate. And so what is an Alexa skill, what is a flash briefing? So what it is basically all Amazon Alexa tools have this Alexa skill app. And that's exactly what it is. It's an application. Making sure I'm still on the right slide. It's just an application, and basically there's a lot of stuff. There's some examples in here. But you can create a flash briefing with it, and provide Alexa users so you can get to come and kind of sign up for your flash briefing, headlines and other short form content. Usually it becomes a part of their daily routine. They get a flash briefing, asking them to give a thing like, give me my flash briefing or tell me the news, and that's just things. It doesn't have to be real estate related either. It could be, as real estate professionals, we know when a new restaurant's opening up. We know when all this, who's subscribed right now to a newsletter they get daily or weekly, whether you meant to sign up for it or not, that just says, hey, here's what's happening around you right now. Because it's basically just that, but with a voice.
Yeah. On Facebook, I subscribe to a bunch of local feeds, several in Fort Mill, couple in Indian Land, couple in Rock Hill. So I'm learning about new restaurants and who has live music and what's going on in those areas right now. And also Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you can take that information from those newsletters and use, because it's a public, like, hey, this new place is opening up, and you put that in your flash briefing. Can you guys still see the slideshow? Because it's like my monitor in here went down, so I'm just making sure. Perfect. So
Yes,
I'll
can still see it.
keep running through this then. Perfect. So what does, customers are then able to discover, they enable your flash briefings, and they can also enable it through the voice for the first time. And then to download the Alexa app, and what you can do, just go straight to the App Store for the mobile device and search for Alexa. If you don't have it now, definitely download that so you can start utilizing this. I don't think you have to have an Alexa app to actually be able to set this up and use it. All right, and then you can also do it right from the Amazon website. You can see right here, and you'll see where it's highlighted Alexa skills. And here's what those are. You just have their voice driven, enhance the functionality of your Alexa enabled device. Basically, they're like apps, and basically what you're doing within this is you're creating one, and there's all step-by-step stuff. And I'll get that, guys. I'll get those steps to you at the end. There's a whole booklet of how to do it. It's really simple. But think about when you say, hey, Alexa, set an alarm for 6 a.m. or set a timer for 10 minutes. That's an Alexa skill that Amazon's just automatically put in there. You're basically building one that is going to go with the flash briefings itself. And as you can see, the total Alexa skills available by country, the US has 56, just about 57,000. So there's a lot of ones that have already been made out there.
Now, when you say Alexa skills 56,000, is that different functions or commands that Alexa will
different
understand?
Commands and functions that you can enable. So flash, like the flash briefing is a skill. You will just be creating basically like a subset of that. that when people say, hey, Alexa, show me my flash briefing, it reads your update that you put in there or anything like that. And so if you're using this and can, trying to connect with a target market, 43% of those smart speaker owners would be interested in using skills from companies or brands they follow on social media. So just about half of the population want some type of interaction with a smart speaker and who they're following and who they want to use. This is a little bit small for me because the second one went down. So I'm see if I can make this a little bigger on my side so I can. Here we go. So just kind of the year in reviews, what people are using it for. People are using education, lifestyle, productivity, weather. Some people like to hear the weather. Some people, you get the yellow ring when a package is delivered. It's the same thing. Same thing as that. So if you go on there too, if you go on that app, you'll see this too. There's a lot of stuff, first letters, family jokes, trivia, bachelorette party stuff, birthday trivia, family trivia, all stuff that you can add and add Alexa to do. And then your at-home stuff, personal trainer, roommates, pet sitter, babysitter stuff, all of that. And so here's a big one too. Alexa, order my Starbucks. Alexa's connecting to other apps. It is doing all that for you. It is, connecting. So that's a big thing too. So you can reorder the usual order, check your Starbucks card balance, switch between your last previous, search between them. You just tell the Echo or any Amazon product to do that, and it doesn't. So again, it's getting that into your hands and what it is. You can see the communities and organizations has the flash briefing right there where you can create the daily or weekly content for your customers. Now that I can see it on this screen again, right there, the flash briefings. All right, and they are limited, the flash briefing, to 10 minutes as of right now. So ideally, just a 3-minute or less kind of piece that you're giving an update, whether it's weekly, daily, every other day. I think I'm a big fan of weekly stuff. I think you guys probably see that when you get that Mortgage Minute Monday email every Monday. It's getting out just like a Monday kind of skill to you guys. But basically, just a quick overview of news and other content. It could be anything, comedy interviews, customer discoveries enabled, and it just enables a skill for you guys to reach people over and over. So even if someone doesn't own an Alexa device, they can still enable and play all flash briefings through the Amazon app. So as long as they have a phone, they can still check their briefings as well. This kind of goes a little bit more into how to create one. So really what you're doing is you're going to you're going to Google Alexa developer. And like I said, I'll get these steps out to you in kind of a little sheet. But click just to create the Alexa skill on there. You'll see skill builders and stuff like that, and start a skill. But create an Alexa skill. Now you just need to build a skill or the app first before you can connect it to a host. And some of those hosts will go over who they are, what they do, how some of them can do it for you, kind of deal too. So the app will then essentially just be responsible for making the audio files playable. All right, so just follow all the steps and complete the information. Then you have to submit your skill for approval, which usually takes them about 1 to 5 business days. You'll be prompted to upload a cover art, for your flash briefing too. So you can use things like Canva, or just have someone that build you out a flashcard. You can use. I'm sure Andrew would be okay with you guys using the Realty One logo for it as well, just as a promotion piece for you and them. So once you have this all ready, and then before you preset up the skill. The good news is that you have your Amazon Alexa developer account. It's completed. All the steps to set up the Alexa skill are there. You don't want to do this. You don't have to do it again unless you want to create additional skill. It's like what you were asking a second ago, Lance. Like, it's not once you create the skill one time, it's like you have it, you own it, it's out there. And you just set it up an account, flash briefing, a podcast host. That's how you'll be able to get your audio file to Alexa. And so that could be, a couple of things. Sound Up Now, I think is the company name. And they actually specialize in the Alexa flash briefings, and they'll do all the tech stuff for you, like create what's called an RSS feed, things like that. You can also do it yourself, use things like buzzsprout.com. I think that's when there's another one too that I can't remember, but just more traditional, like a podcasting host, but it's basically where all your stuff is stored. And then the Alexa app will take it from there and move it into your flash briefing. Basically, you're setting up your file there and do all that. Who here actually listens to podcasts? Anyone listen to podcasts? Anything? No podcast listeners.
Very rarely.
Very rarely. That's the thing. Is like you can listen to it just basically when you do, because of the the online audio feed that's being hosted online by the hosting provider, like the host RSS, or which really simple syndicates what the RSS stands for. But still, the same thing as in order to test a flash briefing, you have to have at least one audio file uploaded and published. So if you're going to test it, you need to at least get one up there. And here's just kind of a little bit for them. I'm looking over at the biggest thing. So audio content made easy for Sound Up Now. I think it's like $14.99 a month is what it was for them to be able to help you do this. So just a small fee for them if you want help doing it. But like I said, you get a free 14-day free trial with it at least. But they do the same from recording your audio, upload, schedule your release dates, and then make sure it goes live on Amazon. Your flash briefings actually do get published. That's what they'll help take care of. And then getting found on Amazon. And there's some case studies in here too, and we'll show you some examples of that. And so once published, your Alexa skill basically becomes searchable within the Amazon skills library. And then how do you get people to go to that? There's also some examples in there too. So when choosing the name for your skill and what you want to name it, it's an important thing to keep it relevant and hyper local to your area or your market that you want to reach. Like I live in Waxhaw, and if I wanted to reach everyone that's close, like I would say, we're just going to look at the next one. Like here's one, Atlanta real estate. Like I'll be like, there's even a better one that's next that we'll look at too. It's like your name, real estate, in the place. So this is an example basically where Berkshire Hathaway, they just took an Alexa flash briefing for the Atlanta real estate. And the search in this is not as powerful as compared to Google, but you're promoting your page through your social media. So you're leading people to your Amazon to be able to enable this and not just relying as heavily on people searching on Google. So that's one thing to note there. And then for an agent, Tristan Daughtry, your Boise real estate agent, or if I was an agent, your Waxhaw real estate agent, or your insert where you live real estate agent. So that's another thing that they can get out there. People can then click that enable the skill button and get that flash briefing. And so that's it too, is how do you market your flash briefing? So what you want to do is you want to share on your social medias and like share the link to it. So once you get it done, you have your website link that you can post in there. You can make a Facebook post, anything, use Instagram stories. Create the story with a call to action. Tell them where to go, what it is, what they can expect, set those expectations with them, how to, then just say, hey, all I have to say is play flash briefing, give an update with it. And here is a branding image that was posted on Facebook, and you can see the details on how to enable it. So here it is. You can even see right here, this is their link that they put in there, all the stuff they can do, just 2 easy steps. Enable this is their Val Today flash briefing skill, which is where that link will take them to, and then just say, Alexa, what's my flash briefing? So just like clicking on that, it takes them to that site that you had. They can click enable, they can be a part of that. There's another one from the Cleveland Clinic that they did, daily health tip of the day. What we just wanted to show here is like, what's missing from it. There's only a send message. There's no link there. There's no call to action. There's none of that. So you're kind of seeing something. It's like, hey, you're going to send a Facebook Messenger, which could still be helpful for us getting messages as real estate professionals, but for the Cleveland Clinic, not so much. And then what to talk about. What do you talk about? It's kind of understanding just the context of how and why people are going to listen to your flash briefings. Short, it's going to be informational, helpful, and could even be entertaining. Local community happenings that are going on out there, tips for buying, selling, maximizing home value, curb appeal. Really 90% of what you're going to talk about on there, should be about where they live, the general interest for you and for them, helpful tips, and not just saying, hey guys, we have a listing at this address. I know you're listening to my flash briefing. Why don't you come on down? It's kind of keeping those guys engaged with just tips and what's happening. Because really this is kind of playing the psychological game of them hearing your name over and over again, whether it be about the weather, a new opening, But when they hear real estate, they're going to think about you. Or if they think about buying or selling, like, oh, Lance is sending me this, flash briefing every week. Let me call Lance real quick. So that's kind of the biggest piece of it too. And you just have your smaller niche content ideas, waterfront properties, if you want to deal in that, specialize in that, or if you want to be the condo king or queen, like, hey, listen to here's everything about condos that you can ever want to know about. Daily tips, first time buyer stuff, and the top 20 questions that you get. How many of you guys get the same questions over and over and over again from your clients? Because it seems like it's common. I'll tell you one I got one yesterday. I talked to a potential buyer. They said they were pre-approved before, but they didn't know that changing their jobs in the middle of being under contract would affect anything at all. I didn't know that going from a W-2 job to another W-2 job that I didn't make as much was going to affect anything. So it's kind of those same things that you can use the top 20, top 10, top 5 questions you get and make sure you're pushing that out to people every once in a while just so they can hear it, they know it. Here's another little piece of this. It's an example from an agent in Chicago, just talking about what's new in the city of Chicago. Community events, where to go in the city, especially if you're new. Museums, clubs, hot spots, restaurants, things to do. And then as a 14-year veteran realtor, I'll also be talking about Chicago real estate, giving homebuyer tips. That's what she put in there, about doing down payment programs because she's done enough or helped enough or worked with a lender enough that they know how to buy your first home, what neighborhoods are growing, new first time seller tips. These are all things that you can constantly push out for them. And here's a team panel for real estate in Lexington, Kentucky. They encourage people to listen to their daily Alexa briefing to get the advice needed to keep up to date. Just in the world of real estate, I think that you guys can definitely attest to this now. It's like who feels like they wake up every day or every week and something changes and it's completely different now in the real estate or mortgage world.
It's always changing. It doesn't matter. Hourly, daily, it doesn't matter. It's
Always a new season. And then you could also use this, your Alexa flash briefings too, just kind of help out with open houses. If you're only one person, you got, a good amount of people coming in. What you can do with it is you can basically do buzz for your listings, even though we're doing that 90-10, like if you do have a listing, you can always throw it out there to people who are, listening. You can help it build your database. And so that is, as you're driving people into your link, your Alexa, and you're enabling them, you have their information to be able to market yourself to them. And as in both, it's a real estate professional, as with a real estate agent and as a loan officer, like your database is so important because that's where everything comes from. If you have someone that you helped a year ago, if you're reaching out with them and wishing them happy birthday, if you're checking on them, hey, it's been a year since you bought your home, just want to make sure you guys still loved it, like not even about business, just catching up with them, like they remember that. And you never know when you're going to call someone and wish them happy birthday and they say, oh, we're actually thinking about doing this. It's funny that you called. Your database is so important. Growing your audience and people who know and like you and trust you and then can refer you out. So someone who's listening to your Alexa flash briefings, like, oh, you're getting ready to buy a home. You should call Abby. She sends out this thing every single week. I know she's knowledgeable. Call her. She's going to be able to help you out. And you can promote a giveaway on social media. Are you giving something out? I know I've seen a lot of newer agents, and actually one of the guys I went to college with just became an agent, and he's going to local restaurants that he wants to promote on his social media. And he's getting a $25 gift card, and it's, hey, follow me on social media, tag 2 of your friends, and you're entered into the chance. And he's growing his social media that way while also promoting his favorite places in the area.
I'm going to interrupt there and say that's a very, very fine line for us that you guys need to go watch out for. Because we have issues with, you cannot give anything of financial value to someone who is not considered an agent. So be careful when you do that and get some assistance from your BICs before you actually run out and start doing that. Just a heads up.
There you go.
Sorry, Garrett.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. I had agents before that were doing it at open houses to encourage people to go to their open houses. And it was a problem with the commission. So just be careful how you do it. That's all I'm saying.
Is that because it was house related then? But if you're just doing it as a restaurant to grow social media following,
Where the line is? that's kind of its own bear, and the commission is just now kind of coming out with some stuff with social media and how to handle things. So I would say yes, but I would just say be very, very careful, because as you guys know, if you're not licensed, you cannot receive anything having to do with a real estate transaction. So it could be thought that if you gave someone money before they became your client, and then they became your client, that could be wishy-washy. So just be careful.
See, guys, things change every day. Wake up today, come to a training, learn something new.
Yeah, I mean, Andrea, unless you know something different. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Garrett. I just wanted to kind
No,
of.
I want you to jump in and say stuff like that, because it's your guys who are out here doing this. So if we have something that's kind of borderline, or we need to do it a certain way, we need to make sure we're all on the same page with it.
Of course. And just be careful, guys. I think it's a great idea, but just be careful.
Awesome. So then just kind of, again, just talking at open houses, you can create those flashes for certain rooms, certain areas. Some people who just, you have those people who don't want to be followed around when they're in the house, but they have questions. You can have them set up in certain rooms and say, hey, like there's some Alexa set up. If you have any questions, like you can just say, hey, Alexa, tell me about the primary bedroom. So that's something that you can use as well. And how many bedrooms, just prompt visitors to ask questions if they don't want to be followed around, because some people want you there in their hip pocket telling you about everything, and some people just want to come in and peruse the home as they please. And really, because it's such a newer thing too, it's like it's the opportunity to become the agent in your area who does this. And it's just like anything new, if you get your foot in the door and you kind of get your way going first, you're going to have great success with it, because it's something new. And I could probably tell you that not a lot of people, our agents, are doing this in your area, and you could be the first. Anyone think that's something they want to do, want to learn more about?
This sounds really cool. I hope that some of our people pick up on it for sure, Garrett.
I think we'll be good.
I think it's a great way to get your name and your voice out there. I personally probably won't do it because I don't like these things, and I don't like being on video or my voice out there, but it's a great opportunity to get people to know who you are in the area. So I think everybody who's on here should take advantage of these and kind of look into it and start using this approach to get some more business. Yeah, I think that's a great way too, to give something of value when you promote yourself on your social medias. I'm saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent and I offer this for free. It's just your free briefing on what's happening in the market, and a way for them to hear your voice. And it's something that it's an added benefit that you are giving to people. And that's the biggest thing, is you're adding value with your while promoting yourself. That's the biggest thing for it, I think. Perfect. So with all that, that's the end of this. I'm going to get into a little bit of a movement pitch here too, for a couple of slides, and for Andrea and Diana. I know you guys have heard this a million times, and anyone else who's talked to us, but the old 6-7-1 process. Basically at Movement 2, so what we have is the 6-7-1 process. It's 6 hours of upfront underwrite. So if you guys have someone go under contract, they are looking to get pre-approved, we try to get it done in 6 hours. Business hours, pretty spot on with that. And then once you actually get approved with conditions, we set a goal for 7 days to get all the customer conditions done. And what this does is it allows us to get you guys, when you're under a 30-day or a 28-day contract, is get you clear to close at least a week before closing. That's the biggest thing. And so that's what we pride ourselves on, is speed, efficiency, and knowing what we're doing and getting to you guys to the closing table on time. So I can call the borrower, you can call the buyer, we can call the seller and say, hey, we're 10 days out, you guys are good to go. Like, let's just, we can all breathe now these last 10 days while you're waiting to sign papers. You already have your movers, moving truck there. So we look to do that, and that's who we are from it when it comes to a proficiency standpoint. Anyone have any questions? Anyone want to add to the Alexa flash briefings? Think something else needs to be added to it? The steps I'm going to get to you guys, like I said, but other than that, there's a lot of ways you can reach people locally that's not being, taken advantage of right now.
Garrett, you mentioned briefly that there's a company that helps you set up the your skill for $14.99. is there a cost, an ongoing cost, once you have a skill approved by, your hyper skill approved by Amazon?
Yeah, so that's not for the skill, that's for the hosting. And you could set up in advance like the scheduled, so let's say, because you're kind of looking at, let's say you want to do all your recordings in a month, because when you record content, you want to do it in batches. That's why when you see, if you follow anyone on Instagram who releases videos or they release content, you usually see them in the same outfit a couple times, because they're probably putting it on their time block and they're probably recording, a month's worth of content at one time. So they don't have to come back, every Monday I'm going to do this at 8 o'clock. So if you can say, hey, for October, I want to talk about this on week 1, this on week 2, this on week 3, this on week 4. You record that in batches, and then with that service, what it'll do is say, hey, you just tell us when you want to post it, and we'll post it for you on that day and make sure it gets uploaded. We'll make sure that you have everything that you need from a hosting standpoint to be able to get that content out every single month when you want it. That's really where that monthly fee comes from. It's not from getting it approved, but from hosting, holding, and making sure your stuff's getting uploaded when you want to get it uploaded.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a very inexpensive employee that's helping you. Anyone else? Anything this related, mortgage related, real estate related, sales related, life related, weather related, grass related? I used to work in the green industry, so we can talk about grass if you want to. Awesome. That's short training for you guys today. That you have a good bit of
Awesome.
your day
Thank you
back.
so much, Garrett. We really appreciate you coming and doing this and opening our eyes to a different way to get in front of our clients.
Yep, there's 1,000. So I said, someone told me when I first got into this, there's 1,000 different ways to market yourself and how to get leads and get business. And I told them that they were crazy, that you just need to talk to people and know people and they refer you out. But there truly is so many different slices. I would always say your business is a pie and you're getting your slices from many different places.
Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, guys. Well,
See you
good to
guys.
see
And
you guys on here. We'll see you again.
Yeah, I'll send it all out to you guys. Try to get that out to you guys today. Should be able to do it right now since we're in a little bit early, but if you guys have any questions, reach out. If there's something specific that you guys also want to do too, just let me know. We can always schedule that for like a mortgage related kind of thing too, whether it be on one of these trainings. I know talking before, I think it's something that we could do all do together. Andrea, I'll get with you on this on a future one.
Sure.
Perfect. Well, if we're all good, you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Garrett.
See you guys.
Call me if you need me.
Thank you, you too.